it, starting that now. And then we are going to share my screen. Here we go. Can everybody see my screen? You don't have to answer. Just tell me if you can't, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time today talking about just the basics. Like I said, when sending out the emails for this class, experience, I guess we'll call it. We got all sorts of user types, all sorts of levels of knowledge of Teams here. And so I want to take it from the start. So if this is, repeat information for some of you, that's likely to happen. But hopefully we can take this, build on your skills that you already have, teach you some new things. Maybe you come up with some different ways to put Teams to use. Our Teams usage so far, so far in the past month and a half, 2 months, has been just growing exponentially. It's been pretty crazy. The feedback that I've gotten from users that have been putting it to use, whether in their classroom or for meetings within their department or just for collaborating with people in their department, has been mostly all positive, which is awesome to hear. And so, like I said, I'm just going to take you through the process of getting into Teams for the first time, getting a start on it, and helping you to better understand where you need to go and what you need to do. So, first things first, Teams can be accessed from the web, from a desktop computer or a laptop computer using the desktop Teams application. And it can be also accessed via your mobile device by downloading the Microsoft Teams app for Android or for your iPhone or iOS device. It's also for an iPad or tablet as well. But when you're first going to access Teams, you're going to want to access it through your MCC sign-in area. Now, my sign-in area now looks a little bit different from what you're used to. The IT department recently was given a test run of our new sign-in area. This isn't going to be like changing anything for any of you. It's just going to look, as you can see here, just a little bit different. It's going to give us more control of the applications we have access to. So don't fret about anything like that. It's going to be all good. Things won't change very much at all. But anyways, we're going to join it from the web for the first time. So we're going to scroll down until we find the Teams tile. Now, I will add that Teams is best accessed on the web by using the Chrome browser or Microsoft Edge. And we'll get into kind of the ins and outs of that. But just know if you're going to be joining it from the web, you're going to want to be using Microsoft or Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge browser. So go ahead and click on that tile, and it's going to open up in a new tab for us. And it's going to take us into our Teams area via the web. Now, the cool thing about Teams is Teams brings in, it's one central location and brings in a lot of our commonly used tools. So instead of visiting Outlook to check our email and do communications, we can do a lot of those same communications right from Teams, whether it be the chat area in Teams to message with a single person or a group chat. Maybe it's your actual team area where you have been added to Teams or you have formed teams, whether it be for your classroom department. I even have my own little team that I created. It's just me, and I add some test users to it. And it's a place where I can work on my own different projects and keep them organized and specific to what it is that I might be working on. Going back to what Teams combines, it also will bring in, like I said, your Outlook, but it's also going to bring in your calendar. So you may have seen that you have this calendar option here. You can click on that, and you can add items to your calendar. You can view your meetings. You can still set up meetings and establish them through Outlook, whether the web or the app. But you can view them now within Teams as well, which is very cool. Teams also takes in and brings in your files. So if you have files in a SharePoint team or group, if you have OneDrive files, you're going to have access to all of your files that you need right here within the files area in Teams. Now notice that I'm working on this from the web. Okay, a lot of the interface that we're going to see on the web is identical to what we'll see if we're using the desktop app. So far you see our communication has been brought into one place. Our files have been brought into one place. Our calendar has been brought up into one place. If you use OneNote, you can access your Microsoft OneNotes from Teams. So you can see there's a lot of versatility. So now instead of you going to all of these different apps to access all these different things, you can do that right within Teams, which is super helpful. So I'm going to bounce over to the Teams application, and actually it minimized here. So if I bring this up, you should see our meeting area. But while I'm in this meeting, I can still hop over to all of my other areas within Teams. Now you're going to see that this area looks a little different from the web version that I was just showing you. And that's due to the fact that I'm using blackout mode. It's just a setting that you can adjust. I'll show you that here in a second. I like it because it's a little easier on the eyes, but that's available if you're using the app. You can see the web, okay, very similar, okay, and you don't notice much of a change as I bounce between the two. Here's my Teams area on the web, and here's my Teams area on the app. The only thing that's different is the fact that it's in dark mode. And so a couple more things. If you get notifications, and we'll talk about notifications here in a second, those are going to show up in your activity feed. If you need to take part in chats, that can be done here by clicking on the sidebar. You will see all the people that you're having chats with. You can establish new chat groups. And we're going to spend a day or two talking about chats and the features within that. You can see we have the Teams area, which you're probably used to if you've been added to a team or if you've created a team. The assignments option is something that comes within our Teams account. And I want to point it out because we're not using it. It comes with our Teams account because we are an EDU institution. So by default, we have access to assignments. But if you are working in the instructional capacity, you could actually do quizzes and assignments using Teams, but we have Canvas for that. I mentioned the calendar. We also will have the ability to make phone calls and take phone calls. Teams will be our primary option for that. You're not going to notice much of a change. Right now we use Skype for Business to power that. That change will be happening at some point, and you will be notified about that. But for now, this calling button isn't really used. And obviously I already mentioned the files area. One thing that you might notice is you have more of a dashboard type appearance with tiles on it. And that's just has to do with the view that you have set up. So if you see down here, you're going to see a settings gear. If I click on that, there's a switch view. And that'll pop up. And I can change that to grid view. So if you prefer this view right here, it's very easy to get to that. If you like the list view, like you saw where I was clicking around through the teams, you can switch to that very easily as well. This has its positives in that I can quickly reorganize my teams, okay, and change these tiles around just by clicking and dragging, which is pretty cool. If I want to go into one of my teams, I just click on the tile and it will take me into that specific team. You can see that here, it's only showing that one team now in the different channels. If I bounce back to that, I can get to that view again, okay? I mentioned it's easy to switch. Okay, before I had to go down here in this area to that settings gear. Now it's up here. So you really just got to look for the settings gear. And you can see that you can click on switch view and you can easily change the layout back to the list view if you'd like. While I'm in the settings area, I'm just going to hang out here for a second and point out a couple other things. I mentioned the different themes, the dark mode, the default mode. That can be updated and switched right from here. So I can switch to default mode. I don't have to click save after I choose it. You can see that it automatically does that. And just like that, I'm to the mode that you're most likely in as well. Another place that I can go to access the settings is in the upper right-hand corner. You'll see a profile picture. Julie, you might see the profile picture. You might not, depending on the day or who's viewing it, I guess. But if you click on that, you'll get a drop down. And that's going to present you with some items. And we're going to spend just a couple minutes before we conclude here going over what's available here. The first thing that you're going to see is, well, you can update your profile image, and hopefully that works for you. You can also set your status. So if you are available, if you have to run away, go do something, if you're just busy and you don't want to be disturbed. I'll tell you right now, I don't pay a lot of attention to these things. I figure if I send you a chat message, you can always respond at your convenience. But if you do adhere to these and you want to be on top of your availability, all you have to do, like I said, is click on your profile image, and that'll give you this drop down, and you can change your status. You can also set a status message. So if you are away, you can say, hey, I ran to the kitchen for 5 minutes to make some lunch, or I had to go to a meeting with the executive team, or whatever status that you would like to post. You can save things in a team. So if you get a message and you want to save it for later, much like you'd flag an email, you can do that, and you can list or view all your saved messages or posts by clicking on this saved. And you saw the settings that I had accessed before. You can access your settings from here as well. And you can see it looks identical to what we just saw, because it is the same thing. Digging a little deeper, and this is something that I really want to focus on, is your notification options. So when you go into settings, something that you're going to want to, if you haven't focused on already, or if you haven't spent a little time looking at, is how you're notified in Teams. Okay, and so if you click on notifications, you're going to see that you have different options here. I don't have a recommended setup for this. I guess this is going to have to be something that you go by feel. I can certainly provide some suggestions for it, but all you have to do is click on these items. A banner is something that will pop up, whether it be from the side or the bottom. And it's just going to let you know if somebody sent you a chat, or if you were a message was posted for you, and that's what the banner is going to look like. And obviously, you know what an email notification is as well. If you click on the drop down, you can choose how you'd like those to appear or not appear. And you can see there's a lot of different options for how you are notified and what you can be notified for in Teams. And like I said, with switching the view, you don't have to save that. You just make those notification changes, and off you go. Just a couple other things. Something that's going to be very important, something that actually it's your homework for the day, is making sure that you have the application. Okay, so if I'm going to hop back over to the web browser and show you it in the web, just like we did before, we're going to click on our profile image, and you're going to see down here you have two options for downloading the desktop app and also downloading the mobile app. And so to download the desktop app for your computer, it's as simple as clicking on download the desktop app. It will identify the device you're using, whether it's a Mac or a PC, and it will begin downloading that application for your device. The nice thing about the app is you don't have to worry about whether you're using the right browser or not, and that's helpful for meetings like this. And seeing video, sharing your desktop. You also don't have to worry about going to the MCC login area, signing in, clicking on the Teams app, and accessing Teams that way. You just open up the application on your device, and you will be rocking and rolling. As far as downloading the mobile app, you can do it from here if you're on your mobile app. Excuse me, if you're on your mobile device. But I'd recommend going to your app store, whether that's the Google Play Store on an Android device or your App Store on an Apple or iOS device and just doing a search for Microsoft Teams, and that'll get you the correct app for download. So that pretty much covers just the basics of what I wanted to go over today. A couple other things. First of all, like I said, each day I'm going to give you a little something to do, and I'll be posting this to the team. Actually, let me hop over to the team quick. So we go to the Centurion test drive. All of you have been added to this. If you haven't, let me know. But you're going to see that we have the team here. In the general area, this is just a spot for, general information. As you can see, some things have been posted here, some questions. But I've also added several other channels. These are specific areas of the team that are specific to a task or a project. I will be posting all of the things that you need to do over the next 10 days in this homework area. So I just showed you this document. This is day one. Very basic for today. All that I ask that you do is make sure that you have the apps downloaded for your different devices. So if you're on a laptop and you don't have the Teams app, download it. If you have a phone, okay, you can see that I have the Teams app here. And this allows me and allow anyone that you're working with, if they have this app, to join these meetings. I could join this from my phone as well, but we're going to get like instant feedback, and I don't want you to get that microphone feedback going on. But you can see a lot of the same experience that we see on the web and on the desktop app is available on the mobile app. I can participate in meetings. I can collaborate with my different teams in the Teams area. I can use the chat. So it's a very useful application. And while I have this up, another thing that you're going to want to, another thing that you're going to want to make sure that you pay attention to are your notifications on the mobile app. And so I'm showing you from an iPhone. It's going to be a little bit different on an Android. But if we click on, no, that's not the right one. If we click on the menu bars in the upper left-hand corner there, and we go to notifications, we actually can adjust our notifications via the mobile app. Now, it should show a list of different notifications, much like we saw on the desktop app. I have my notifications turned off right now because I don't want chat messages and other notifications coming in and disturbing this meeting that we got going here. But you'll see all of your different app or notification settings right here on your mobile device. And those are going to be specific to how you are notified on your mobile device for Teams. So that's another thing that you're going to want to look at as far as notifications go. So your working orders for today, and like I said, this is totally optional. There's no requirement. I'm not going to give you a grade. But to move along and to better position ourselves for doing what we need to do in this experience, today I want you to make sure that you download the desktop app if you have a desktop device, and download the mobile app for your specific device. And then the steps 3 and 4, I want to make sure that you view and adjust your notifications on both applications, and you've kind of fine-tune those for what it is that you need to use Teams for. And if you're not sure what you need to use Teams for, that's okay. It's kind of something that you're going to learn as you go and as we go through this experience. Each assignment will also have a list of supplemental resources. You are always welcome to ask me any questions that you have, or ask anybody that you're working with in this experience any questions you have. But these items might help as well, especially since they're related to what it is I'm asking you to do. Back to the team, just a couple other things. You can see private channel here. We'll talk more about that later, but you probably don't see this channel on your Centurion test drive team. That's okay. It's working as expected, and there's nothing in there that you need to see right here. This is for in a couple days. I've established a channel for any questions that you have. So I know that it's easy to ask them in the general area, but if you just click on questions and answers, and if you have a question that you think is, it's not pressing or anything like that, go ahead and post it there. And if you know the answer and you're not me, go ahead and answer. That's totally okay. You might see it and get to it quicker than I would and be able to answer somebody's question. Or speaking from experience that you might already have in Teams is often better than an answer that I can provide. It might be more specific to your area. And then I'll also be posting some more supplemental information in this channel as well. You can use as much of it or as little of it as you would like. I just want to make sure that it is there for you. So just to recap, just a general idea of how to access Teams, what the lay of the land is for Teams, what you're going to be doing today. And if you already have those apps, great. There's nothing more that you need to do. But like I said, that's going to be posted here in the homework area. I'll post that file. And other than that, I just want to open it up to any questions that anybody might have. I'll be posting the recording for this as soon as we are done. So that will be available for those of you that, well, you're not here right now, but couldn't make it. So yeah, I want to open up right now. If you got any questions, fire away. Either that or have a great day.
I have something I was hoping you could help me with dealing with my time, because on my computer, my time is set correct. On Outlook, time is set correct, but I'm on Pacific time in Teams, and it's messing me up, and I've tried to fix it, and it doesn't seem to want to let me. So I'm wondering if maybe you can help me with that after everybody's gone, so they don't have to waste their time. So
absolutely. Or we can always do a separate session as well. It doesn't matter to me, but yeah, we can look into that because that can be very, very confusing.
Yes.
Time zones. there's been a lot of times where I've sent out meeting makers and someone says, why'd you send me the meeting maker for 2 hours away from what it was supposed to be scheduled? And it generally is their Outlook time zone is set to Pacific or Mountain, I should say, if it's 2 hours. So, but yeah, Scott, if you just stay on the line, I can help you out with that for sure.
That'd be great.
Any other questions? Just the basic. Oh, sorry.
I have a question. When we're proctoring exams for the Student Success Center, should we be encouraging the students to download the Teams app?
Yes.
Okay, because I
would say always encourage them to download the app. If they get frustrated, if they're flustered, Chrome will do everything though. Okay.
Okay, so Google Chrome is the best way to go for that.
Yes.
Or Microsoft Edge, like you said.
Yep. If you go that route, for sure.
Okay.
Good question.
Yeah, I just wanted, because sometimes the students are confused when students that are already in like the classes with the teachers that are using Teams, they're not confused, but some students are very confused on how to use the Teams. And so telling them how to download the app would be best for them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I will be sending, and I think the link on the supplemental part of the assignment, the first one is a Microsoft link, and it will detect the device that you have.
Okay.
So if you send them that link, it'll say, hey, you're on a Mac device, and it will point them in the direction to download the correct one. And from that, all they have to do is sign in with their MCC account, and they should be good to go. No sign in needed going forward.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Kevin.
Yep, no problem. Any other questions? Fire away.
It looks like Heather West had a question in the chat, Kevin.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's always good to have a moderator. Is there any integration between Teams assignments and Canvas gradebook? That's a good question. At this point, no. I will be doing a meeting with an app provider tomorrow, and supposedly they got some sort of integration where you can view your Canvas courses within Teams. Excuse me. And so to be determined on that. I will say that there is an integration in Canvas. So if you go to your rich content editor, you should be able to see on one of the drop-down items a Microsoft Teams icon. That's only for scheduling meetings, and it's not going to be specific to a team, but you can just schedule a general meeting. So if you wanted to do like open student hours or office hours, you could post an ongoing link to that meeting, but it's not going to reside in an actual team. So I know it's a little bit confusing, especially for those of you that don't use Canvas much. But I can show you more on that if that's something that you are interested in. But for now, no integration with Teams and Canvas other than that.
Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, I had a question. I am adding my students to the team for my class. Once I add the students to it, are they notified? Or do I have to send them an email or? So
good question. Students will get a notification, just like you got a notification when I added you to this team. It's going to be exactly the same. They'll get an email notification that says you've been added to a team, and then once they come into Teams, there's nothing they need to accept. They should just see their team on the dashboard or on the sidebar, depending on what their view is set up as. So yeah, nothing more to do on your behalf or their behalf once you add them.
Like you send us a link that they could just we could click in it and come right into it.
Yeah, that's okay, so are you talking for being added to the team or for a meeting that you set up?
Like, well, we're gonna have a weekly meeting.
Okay, so if you're doing a meeting, the best way is probably to schedule within a team, but that would require that you have to set up a team first. If you just want to do a meeting, then you're going to go to the calendar area of your course, and we're going to get into all of this stuff within this course day by day. So it might be best to just go with it like that. But if you need to set up a meeting like today or tomorrow or in the near future, then I can send you all that information for that.
Yeah, I think I have it all set up, and I added some of my students to it already. But
yeah, but as far as your students being notified about being added to a team, that will happen. They'll get an email once you add them.
Okay.
Good question. Lots of good stuff coming your way, hopefully, in this experience.
Hey, Kevin, it's Julie again. Any idea when, what our time frame looks like to start using Teams for calls?
No. It's one of those things where we think we're close, and it's not necessarily something on our end. It would have been probably a lot closer without a pandemic, but with kind of our shift to doing a lot of other things, and a lot of other our priorities have shifted a little bit. So that's something that David and Rod are working on, and you'll be notified when we get close.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Kevin?
Yeah.
Kevin, is there any way to see more than 4 people at a time?
Nope, not at this time. But I will tell you that in the month of May, 3 by 3, so 9, will be coming soon. I do some math on the side from time to time, so yeah, you'll have 9 windows. But I do want to point out something. So, and I'm going to share my screen again quick, and that means that I'll probably lose this Teams window. Let me bring it right back up. Can you see my screen?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
All right. Now you can.
Yes.
Okay. So if you want to focus on one specific presenter, there is a way to do that. So if I wanted to see just your screen, Sharon, or spotlight it, you can see when I hover over your box here, menu dots pop up. If I hover over Scott's, Scott's menu dots pop up. But if I click on those, I can pin a specific individual. So if Sharon, if you were the presenter, I would see your screen as my primary screen right now, which would kind of blow it up a little bit. But I know that you're trying to see more people instead of what I just showed you is less people. But that's not quite here yet. And you can be sure that when it is, I will be sure to let you know.
Thank you.
Yep. And I'll unpin your screen. There we go. Any other questions? All right,
Did you show how to make like this or change it to share screen? Did you show that?
Yeah, that's something I'll get into when we do. I think it's on like day 8 or something like that. We're gonna go into all. You're good. You're good. We're gonna go into all different meeting settings, and yeah, I'll cover that.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. Any questions? Going once, going twice. If not, we have a Q&A area in the team. Ask away. You can send me chats. You're not bothering me. I'm here to help you with Teams and anything else you got. So if there is nothing else, have a wonderful day, and we'll look forward to the next 9 days.
Don't forget to help me.
Oh, yes,
Kevin.
I'll stay here for you. All right, everybody, have a good one.
Thank you,
So
everybody.
we're meeting again
Oh,
tomorrow.
yeah, good,
Thank you too.
good question. Good question. So the next 8 days are not going to be live. I will just be posting videos and information. And I'll follow up with information on that. But and then day 10, we'll reconvene and be live like this again. So you don't have to hear from me live for the next 8 days.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Kevin, are you helping Scott on this? Are you doing another? Because I had issues with my time also. Are you gonna do another live video? Are you